Hey guys, Jayson Gaddis here with the Smart Couple Show Ask Me Anything episodes. And we have today a question from Lisa, who's asking about penis size and what happens when I lose attraction to my partner. So we're going to get into this one. It's pretty juicy and full of some confronting challenges. So if you're a man or woman who has any struggle with this, past or present, I think you're going to find this one helpful. Stay tuned to the very end for a little action step. And thanks for your participation and questions, as always, folks. And you can leave your questions at info@jaysongaddis.com. You can also type them into the newsfeed when we do a Facebook Live. We extract all those questions and put them in a Google Doc, and then we start chipping away at them to answer them for you, okay? And we'll probably do a longer episode because I got a little backlog going. All right, let's get to this one from Lisa. So here's my question to you, and it has to do with today's question, okay? So my question to you, and I really want your feedback, so you gotta type something, all right? It could be edgy, you might be a little uncomfortable, a little vulnerable, but see if you can type this one. You can PM me if you want. I prefer a little public answer, though, because it's gonna be very educational for us. Okay, each week I want to try to ask you a question first and see what you got. So here's the question that has to do with today's question from Lisa. I'm answering a question from Lisa today. Anyway, here's my question. This is kind of for the women. Does size matter? Does size matter? Does size matter? Let's hear it. What do you got? Women, does size matter? If you want me to get more specific, I will. Does the size of his penis matter? I'm so curious. Does size matter? No, we're not talking about trucks. We're not talking about bank accounts. We're not talking about boobs. We're talking about, this is a question for women. Does size matter? Okay, we're getting some yeses, but not completely. Hell no. Dude opinion only at the tail end of the bell curve. Okay, so just curious, right? I'm taking an informal poll because I really want to know from people, like, is this a big deal? I know I've had insecurities around my size in my life and had to work through some shit there. So by and large, what I've heard whenever I poll women informally one-on-one or in a group setting or at a workshop or something, invariably it's like 80-20 women saying no. Like, no. What I care about is us and our connection and who we are and our heart and like, can we still like rock out our sex life? And am I satisfied? And so I think my opinion, based on years of working with people with this insecurity and in myself, it doesn't matter. That's just kind of group consensus, but I really wanted to get your opinion, okay? Your opinion. Okay, thanks for sharing it. Yeah, Crooked is probably cool, Mitch. I hear you. Some people have benders, crooked, there's all kinds of things. Yeah, and I've heard, like big cocks and if you're really big, that's actually can be problematic as well. So I don't really think size, it's kind of like women's boobs. If a guy's going to make that the issue, he's focusing on the wrong thing around the relationship. So just my opinion. Okay, so let's get into, thanks for all your awesome honesty and vulnerability there for those willing to play with me. So again, welcome back to the Smart Couple Show, where every Wednesday I answer a listener question. And it's basically an Ask Me Anything show, and I've got a pretty good stockpile of questions here from you, the listener. And I'm really fired up. And then we record these, and they come out, they're recorded live here on Facebook and Instagram, and then they come out recorded on my podcast. on iTunes, okay? And on the website, jasongaddis.com. All right. So here's Lisa's question. This is the question of the week from Lisa. Lisa asks, I'm newly interested in a man after being single for 4 years. I have a 5-year-old son. My biggest issue is getting over the drug effect of having someone new and really discovering why we should or are together. And the drug effect she's talking about is the high, right, in that honeymoon phase. I'm all about getting the high and attracting guys who are physically fit and the perfect eye candy to have on my arm. Right now, the guy I am seeing is just the opposite, and I'm having a hard time with it. So the guy is just the opposite of eye candy and this sexy dude that I can have on my arm. So what is he, ugly? Is he, embarrassing to look at? Like, what are you talking about here? And then she says, not only that, but his package is small and the sex is good. Or no, let me read that again. Not only that, but his package is small and the sex is not good at all. In fact, he has not been able to even be turned on by me enough to have intercourse. So in other words, he might not be able to get it up. That really hurt me, so we have not had sex since. I'm looking for ways for us to strengthen our relationship after this experience and advice on how I can get past not having the physical fit man on my arm. All right, this is an important question here from Lisa. So thanks, Lisa, for your vulnerable question here. Okay, so a couple things are going on here with Lisa. I have limited information. I don't know the whole story because I'm getting just a paragraph here, a short paragraph, but I'm going to take a stab at it, okay? No pun intended. So the guy she's seeing she basically is used to dating really hot guys, and she's hung in there long enough so it's past the honeymoon. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dated this guy. So he was hot in the beginning, where she wouldn't have been interested in him. And now he's not so hot. He's got a small penis, according to her. He may not be able to get it up and satisfy her, and she's turned off. But she wants, if I read her right, she's saying, I'm looking for ways to us to strengthen our relationship. So that tells me she's in. So clearly, for Lisa, it's more than penis size here and more than a sexual issue. She's into this guy on some level. Okay, if this was cut and dry, if it was a deal breaker, no, I just need to be with hot guys with big packages, then she would have moved on already. But something is keeping you in the game, Lisa. What is that? I'm guessing it's that he's a good dude and he's got a heart and you have a connection emotionally with him or something to that effect. So the shallow person here would say, yeah, small dick, small, can't satisfy me, I'm out. The warrior says, we got a problem here. What are we going to do about it, honey? And then they deal. And so what's going to make this relationship work is if this guy speaks up and says, hey, I feel judged and criticized. And if you've been honest with me, like, hey, I'm not psyched on your penis and what's happening there. If they have a good relationship and they have tools, this is a completely workable situation, all right? But if he's really shut down and she continues to make him wrong, if you continue to make him wrong, Lisa, it ain't gonna work. So here's the thing. This is what's funny about this question from Lisa. Lisa's used to dating, being high, right? High and up and hot. And so what does she attract? Cold, little, and down, right? So see that polarity? So she's used to being high, so what does she attract? Someone to get her off her fucking immature, limited high, right? You can't stay high in a relationship, or you do what I used to do, which was jump around from relationship to relationship, because you want to stay high on the dopamine. That is fine if you want to date people. If you want a long-term relationship, it's not going to work, at least with one person. Okay, so this is very workable, and she's attracting the very opposite thing she needs to get sober to the reality of it's more than looks, it's more than physical attractiveness, it's more than size. None of that matters. What matters first and foremost is, do I have a connection? Is there chemistry? Do I feel seen? Do I feel like this person has my back? Can they listen to me in a way that I feel understood? These things are what make you go the distance in a relationship. Okay, if you focus on the little shallow, superficial features of a person, you're just not going to get very far. All right. So the heart can love anything, and it doesn't mean you have to. But I'm in the game of teaching people how to love another human being, which is probably the hardest thing to do on the planet. Especially after you've lived with them for 5 years or 10 years and have a couple of kids, and then, all of a sudden you are like, who the hell are you? You are so unattractive, right? It's that person. The person we fell in love with is the person that becomes the most unattractive to us. And then what are you going to do? You're just going to bounce and move on to another relationship? I don't think so. So, get your head out of the sand here, and it's okay. Sober up. And receive the medicine, so to speak, that this guy's given you, which is, look, I'm gonna basically go soft on you all the time to get you to chill out and appreciate me for who I am as a human being, right? Like women, do you really want a guy to just focus on how big or small your ass is, or your boobs, or the dimple you have, or whether your hair is blonde or brown? Does that really matter in the long game? Yes, it can matter in the short game. Well, if I can't get it up because I'm not turned on, then yeah. And if we're just in our animal, which is I just want to reproduce and, get one off, okay, again, you go play that game. But I'm pretty sure, Lisa, you're here because I'm in the long-term relationship game of monogamy, which is one of the hardest things to do. And you're a warrior somewhere inside, and you want to learn. So I'm giving it to you, This guy is perfect for you. But I don't know him, and I don't know his personality, and I don't know if he's willing to work on it. So if he's willing to work on it, you got a good dude. And if he's willing to face his shit and his own insecurities, because here's the thing, a guy with his if he feels like he's small, and if he has a big insecurity there, that's going to also block the two of you. Let's say you got cool with, all right, your size is fine, it doesn't matter. Well, if he's sitting over there on his side with a big insecurity, he's got to deal with that, or it's going to jam the two of you up. So, I continue, whatever the insecurity is in my relationship, I face it. It doesn't feel good. I don't like doing it. It's not fun for me, but what stands on the other side of that is good for me. It's fun for me. And it's like, oh, thank God. Because I worked through an insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So get honest, don't make it about that. And then if you two are feeling really strong and dialed, and he's able to get it up, and he can work on that because his cock is just a barometer, once again, for what's not working in his life in connection, and he's super sensitive. Okay, the penis for a man is completely trustworthy. There's nothing ever wrong there. Maybe there's a small percentage of men that actually have some kind of medical thing, but even then, I bet I could find that it's a psychological thing. So, totally workable here. Thanks, Lisa, for your question. Now let me just jam through and see if there's any questions pertaining to this question, which I always like and appreciate. Anyway, Denise is saying, my perspective is that it's my job to get creative in a way that I look at my husband and find ways to be continually attracted to him. I don't think it's his job to show me how attractive he is. I actually love this challenge. It keeps me engaged, and I constantly find other creative ways to find him super sexy. Awesome. Yeah, totally. And it's not his job to try to be attractive for you, but it is his job to attend to his own attractiveness that he feels about himself. That is his job. So if you're with someone who feels bad about themselves and how they look, or their body type or whatever, that's going to have a huge impact on your relationship. So the work there is to get right with ourselves in how we are and accept ourselves. And if we don't like how we are, we do something about it. Some things aren't changeable, like penis size, but physical fitness or our diet or whatever, those things can change, right? But we want to work with what we got. It's a powerful, powerful thing to learn to embrace you as you are. And when you don't like something, you set to work and altering that part of yourself until you can embrace it. but not because other people are telling you to, because you're saying, I don't like the way this feels in me. Ashley's saying, I had this problem with my husband. I took it personally. How do you not do that? Yeah, good one, Ashley. That's the thing, is we're so limited there in our animal. We just take things personally. Well, you don't like me. Well, you don't love me. You're losing your erection because it's my body or because of me. No, that's not. It's because of the vibe between the two of you, which needs to be addressed, but it's rarely, if ever, about you. That's a hard one for us human beings to learn, but when we do, it's really, really helpful. So get after it if you can, okay? All right, we're winding down here. Tara Farmer is saying, I think that's your middle name. Anyway, Tara, what is the best way to approach a guy in this situation? In what situation? Penis size or losing his erection? Either way, I would say you bring it up. Say, hey man, I feel dropped over here. I feel, I have a concern about our sex life and I want to address it with you. Are you open to talking about it with me? And a guy that's secure in himself will say yes. A guy that's insecure will get defensive initially, but he will, if he's a good warrior dude, he's going to come around and say, fine, I don't like talking about this, and okay, what's up? Because I don't like talking about my insecurities, because I'd rather them go away. But they're not gonna go away. So please, let's talk about them, because they're gonna stand in our way if we don't, right? So when we take it personally, we gotta work with that. And a way to do that, sort of back to Tara's question, is to talk openly and say, hey, honey, I'm taking this personally. I'm making this about me. Is it about me? And again, a guy who hasn't worked on himself will say yes. I remember the women I dated when I was emotionally jammed up and very guarded, had they said, well, is it because of me? I would have said, yes. Yes, you're not X enough. You're too much of that. But that wouldn't have been true, because that was a smokescreen for my fear. And it was a justification for me to avoid facing my own shit, right? So don't buy it if someone says, yes, it's about you. Like this woman, Lisa, like if the guy said, well, is it because of my penis size? Is that the reason you're not able to, connect with me or whatever, you're mad at me or something? And if Lisa would say, yeah, it's a big problem over here. That would be like, If I was working with that couple, I'd say, no. Okay, let's keep that as one possibility here. I'm not going to just say it's the end all be all. Let's just keep it as a possibility. Let's put it on the shelf and let's explore what's actually going on, which is there's some fear here. There's some terror. You've been hurt before. You've been judged before. And now you're covering, and you feel deeply ashamed. And now you're covering over that with all these kind of weird strategies about making it about the other person. Remember, it's not about the other person. So there's a lot here. We initially covered, does size matter? Okay. Some people said yes. But here, I just want to challenge the women who said yes, okay? If you're going to make it about size, I'm going to challenge you that it's not about size. All right? I'm just going to challenge you. And see if you can try on that possibility that it ain't about size. It's about you're afraid. And when you're afraid, you go into your mind and you judge other people. And you find fault, and you'll find an excuse or a reason to not open up your heart to another human being. So that's my challenge to you. And I get that, let's say you do that, you've done all that, you're still a very open person, you're super available, and the penis is not growing and it's not changing, and it's impacting your sex life, then that's a possibility. And then you move on if that's the deal. But I guarantee you someone else would be very happy with that penis size and could find a wonderful, beautiful connection and relationship with whatever size a guy is. There's someone for everyone out there, and we can find that beauty and magnificence in an inch or 10 inches. Okay? So let's not make it about that kind of stuff, right? Okay, I've taken a lot of your time, and this is very cool. Thanks again. We're going to stop here. If there's other questions that I didn't get to that maybe are pertaining to other things, then my commitment is to put them on our list and answer them in the future. So thanks again. Remember, we're back here next week at 10 a.m. Mountain Time for the Smart Couple Show. And every week, it's 5 to 20 minutes. And this is how we do it, all right? Okay, there you have it. Thanks, Lisa, again. And you can ask your question by emailing info@jaysongaddis.com. Go to the Ask Jayson part of the jaysongaddis.com website, and you can record a voice question as well. That's always fun for me to hear your voice, hear where you're from, and helps me, get a little more connection to you. Okay. If you want to take another step here deeper, I do live group coaching like this, but in a group setting where you can talk to me every 2 weeks in the Relationship School Roots community. We have calls every other Wednesday at noon or 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And it would be good to see you in there. You can apply, jaysongaddis.com/roots if you want to hang out with us. And there's also 70 or so hours of audio content if you're liking the podcast and you want more practical tools, group coaching calls that have been recorded just for you. Come join us, come hang out, okay? And we're also on a mission to help other people learn the skill they never got in school, how to do communication and conflict, right, in an intimate partnership where it's the hardest thing to do. Okay, folks, thanks again for your ear, and we'll talk very soon.